गुड इवनिंग सर, गुड इवनिंग।
यस सर, आपकी आवाज बहुत लो आ रही है। मे बी यू आर अवे फ्रॉम द ऑडियो।
एक मिनट। नहीं नहीं, सब ठीक ठाक है। अभी आ रही, बराबर ही आ रही या कुछ कम ज्यादा?
आई
हेलो।
थिंक हाँ। नहीं सर, आपकी आवाज लो आ रही है। मे बी माई ईयरफोन, आई डोंट नो, माई ईयरफोन वाज
और किसी को बात, रेणुका मैडम?
नहीं सर, इट्स परफेक्टली फाइन।
सर परफेक्ट है एकदम।
हाँ देखो, नहीं देखो, प्रमोद सर का आवाज चेक करो, मतलब खत्म हो गया सब स्टोरी।
राठौड़ सर।
हाँ मैडम।
हाँ सर, आई फाइट द फोटो करेक्ट है सर।
करेक्ट है ना? हाँ ठीक है, ठीक सर।
करेक्ट है।
Sir, we'll start in the next 1 or 2 minutes. I hope so. Maybe 2-3 minutes more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2-3 minutes
Renuka.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes sir.
Sure.
यस। आज वेबएक्स में मेरे इस पे एक नया इंटरफेस दिख रहा है नीचे। बाकी लोगों को भी दिख रहा है क्या? उसमें इमोजी का आया है। चैट बॉक्स में इमोजी नहीं डालते आता था ना, आज नया दिख रहा है। रॉकी सर,
No
आपको
sir,
दिख रहा है क्या?
नहीं सर, मुझे नहीं दिख रहा।
अरे मेरे इसमें दिख रहा है, देखो
Sir,
बराबर।
maybe because you're the admin.
ऐसा क्यों है? पता नहीं है। अच्छा, अच्छा चैट बॉक्स में नहीं आता है।
Yes, so Manoj is also able to see it.
हाँ यस सर, आ रहा है सर।
कुछ तो नया आ रहा है ना? हाँ
हाँ
देखो,
सर, रिएक्शंस करके आ रहा है सर।
हाँ रिएक्शंस करके आ रहा है, पहली बार देखा मैं आज। देखो आइसक्रीम देना है, देखो मैं आइसक्रीम दिया आपको।
सर, ये तरीका बेस्ट होगा आपके लिए, सबको चाय ऑफर करना।
हाँ
सर
नहीं, आप दे सकते ना। देखो क्लैपिंग भी इस पे, मतलब हाँ किसी ने कर दिया तो देखो क्लैपिंग।
सर, मुझे तो कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा। आई एम नॉट एबल टू सी। अगर आपने कुछ भेजा है तो मुझे तो कुछ नहीं आ रहा।
सर तुमच्या आयकॉन वरती पण दिसतंय. इट इज विजिबल इन युअर आयकॉन ऑल्सो.
माय आइकॉन राइट?
यस
सर को नहीं दिख रहा है, पता नहीं।
मुझे दिख रहा है सर. यस अभी दिख रहा है.
सर, लेट मी रीजॉइन सर। लेट मी रीजॉइन।
अरे अच्छा, आप कोशिश करते हैं, करो, ठीक है।
हाँ।
हाँ अपेक्षा मैडम का भी इस पे आया, देखो। सिर्फ लोगों ने रोने वाले नहीं डालने चाहिए बस।
Yes sir. Sir, I have rejoined.
हाँ
No sir, I still don't see any option
वो
of
जहाँ नीचे रहता है ना, जहाँ म्यूट, स्टार्ट वीडियो, रिकॉर्ड, उसके बाजू में वहां पे एक छोटा सा ऐसा ही दिख रहा है, रिएक्शंस।
हाँ सर, मैं आपकी बात समझ गया, लेकिन वहां पर मेरे इस
नहीं है?
इंटरफेस में तो कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा। नो।
बाकी सबको है, लेकिन अभी अपेक्षा मैडम को भी था। डिसाइड शेयर, उन्होंने भी लिखा। पल्लवी मैडम बोलती है I can't
Besides
see.
share में you are using computer for audio, switch audio, connect to a video system, raise hand, reclaim host role, dark help checker, switch to desktop app. No, sir. Okay, sir, I have joined from the browser. People like Pallavi or me are not able to see it because of the fact that ki, we are using the app from the browser. आप लोगों ने download किया होगा Cisco का app.
हाँ बराबर है, सही बात है,
हाँ,
करेक्ट
Cisco का app update हुआ है, not the browser.
करेक्ट करेक्ट। सर आज कुछ है क्या कोलैब बिल, आपका लिंक भी है क्या कुछ?
हाँ सर, मैंने 5 o'clock sharp पंच इन कर लिया, वापस करूँ?
अच्छा आपने डाल दिया, मैं चैट बॉक्स देखा
हाँ हाँ
चेक कर रहा। ओके ओके,
It's already there, sir.
इट्स ऑलरेडी देयर। उसको मूडल पे डाल देता हूँ ना। ओके, आई थिंक वी कैन स्टार्ट।
I think we can
yes sir.
start, sir. Yes.
I'm
हाँ ओके
resharing the
मैडम,
same link once again. Yeah.
ओके।
Rocky, sir, you're saying something?
No, I just reshared the same link once again.
Okay, okay, okay. Very good evening to everyone present here. I, Renuka Pawar, wholeheartedly welcome you all on behalf of the organizing committee at Bharti Vidya Bhavan, Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, to the evening session of the 9th day of AICT-sponsored 2-week online faculty development program on artificial intelligence and machine learning. I take this privilege to warmly welcome our well-known expert for the session, Mr. Rocky Jagtiani. So may I request Rocky sir to take over and start the session?
Yeah, sure. I will. Friends, a very good evening. And today also your session is going to be very interesting as it was with respect to Flask or with respect to the prior sessions. So let me share my screen first and we will start in the next minute. Okay, so friends, I hope all of you are in terminals. Please ping me a yes on the chat that you have received the collab notebook. If not, then Renuka could reshare in case if anybody has joined in late.
Sure, sir, I will do that.
Yeah, yeah. So friends, please, I should see a number of yeses. I don't want to see just 2 or 3 yeses. I will see a number of yeses that they have opened up the collab notebook and they're ready on it. Okay, now, friends, the only technical difficulty we all are going to face, or rather people working on collab are going to face today, is uploading the huge data set, and that is a real-time practical problem. So we have to come across this problem, and when the data is very, 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 very large, the way it is today, it will take you more than an hour to upload the data set into Colab. So now either you can, if you are only been working with Colab and you're only comfortable with Colab, then I would suggest you to immediately download the dataset. I'm sure I've given you the link in your Colab notebook. You will please check it. I've given you the link in the Colab notebook of my drive. Download the dataset from the drive and run with this code. There are 2-line code which says, let me open up my Colab notebook for a second to show you that part of the code. I'm going to give you 2 alternatives. So with great patience, please listen to the 2 alternatives for the next 2 minutes and then take a decision whether you want to go for alternative 1 or alternative 2. Okay, so what is the alternative 1? The alternative 1 is, if you're only used to Colab and you've only been using Colab till now, you're not used Jupyter notebooks on your local PC, you're only comfortable using this, then, or you don't have Jupyter installed, you never used Jupyter in this FDP1 or FDP2, then being in Colab, what you could do is go to this respective link, download the dataset as you've always been doing. Okay, just run the very first cell in which I'm importing too many libraries. I'm not using all of them. I've just imported them. So, when you do development, you actually go on importing everything so that you're in a fail-safe mode. So I have imported a lot of things, but I have not used all of them. Okay, you just run this cell and that will take you a minute. And after running this cell, you have to come here from google.colab import files, files.upload. You will run this cell where you would be asked to upload your consumer complaints.csv file. Now this file is too huge. It is literally too huge. It should take you on a high speed net connection at least 1 hour to upload. So obviously for 1 hour, you will not be able to do any practicals along with me. You can punch in the codes in your cells which are missing, but you won't be able to run them because the data is not got uploaded. This is one way to look at it. If you are logged only with Colab, that means you are not having any other platform to work with on your PC right now. Okay, what is the next option? The next option is if you have Jupyter installed on your PC and you have used Jupyter in the past. So let's not feel that, okay, because Mr. Rocky Jagtiani is asking us to download it and use it in Jupyter, let me experiment. No, don't do the experiment, because again, the experimentation will cost a certain amount of time and I won't be able to give the time in this at this juncture of how to use Jupyter. So if you know how to use Jupyter, then it's a hardly 10 minutes work to get hang of it. Then how to do it? You come to File, Option, and there is an option called Download IPYNB, which means Interactive Python Notebook. So you click on this. If you click on this, in about 30 seconds to 1 minute, this notebook will get downloaded. And once this notebook is downloaded, please copy it in your Python library such a way that you can access it from your Jupyter. So when you open up Jupyter, you can open Jupyter from Anaconda. You can also open Jupyter from the command prompt. Either way around. I'm assuming that the person who knows Jupyter will try this option. Okay. So you open up Jupyter notebook and then you search. So once you open up Jupyter, you will see all the notebooks which are there. So you need to properly copy this notebook at the right place. Now, having said this, that you have done it. If you do from Jupyter, then the data has not to be uploaded. Data has to be only read, because consumer complaints.csv, where is it? It's on a local machine. Where is the Jupyter notebook? Also on a local machine. So from local, data is being loaded into the Jupyter or into the notebook. This will happen in about 2-3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes, not more than that. So now it's your decision. So I wish to know how many people are going with Jupyter. Say J on the chat. And people are going with Colab. Say C on the chat. People going with Colab will type C on the chat. And people are aware of Jupyter notebooks and working with Jupyter in the past and are going to work with Jupyter now will say J on the chat.
So,
yes.
Can you do one thing, that we can give a drive share link and you can keep the file?
I have already given the drive share link, so you can copy that onto. You can mount it onto your drive also, but then you should know how to mount it.
Okay, because yesterday we have learned how to mount it, so we have that code.
Fantastic. If you have learned how to mount it on your drive and you have paid attention on how to do it, then please go ahead doing it. But again, that is still going to take you 20-25 minutes. It won't be less than that. Data set is huge.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will take you 10-15 minutes at least. So please, you can start doing it. People are going to use the mounting process because you already have. If you look at my notebook, I have already given you the drive link. Please have a careful look on this. See, I have always given my datasets as drive links so that if anybody wishes, they can always mount this. That means they are directly copying from my drive to your drive, and then from your drive it is being read. So your drive gets mounted. Yeah. So how many people are going in for mounting option? Please type M. Please type M. People using the mounting option.
Sir, if you are instructing, then we can do mounting, sir, because
No, I'm not interested. No. I'm not going to instruct on
okay.
this now. This is I will give the option to all of you, whatever you're comfortable. Fastest is going to be Jupyter. Jupyter will be the fastest. Second fastest is going to be mounting, and the third is going to be Colab. Colab will take 1 hour, mounting will take 10 minutes, Jupyter will take 5 minutes. So whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. So I'm
Sir,
assuming, yes.
can you say please resend the link? I lost my chat, and once please share the collab link so that I can sorry
Sure.
sir.
So you want the collab link, right? Not the
Yeah,
data set, no? The collab link.
data set as well as this. I lost both
Data
of
set
this.
is there itself, no? Data set, Dr. Pushpa, data set is very much there in the collab notebook
Collab link.
itself.
Yeah,
No?
okay. So I have to download it and make it in Jupyter, right? As we do normally, the reading data set. So if at all it is like that, I will go with Jupyter only.
Uh, uh,
I know
okay.
this data dot we go with C drive save and where Jupyter is there, and we have to read it from
Okay.
that link.
Aware about it, no? Dr. Pushpa, you're
Yeah,
aware about how to do it, no? Because I won't
yeah,
be able
I am
to
aware.
teach that as a part of today's thing. That's going to distort or deviate us from what we're going to learn today.
No, I am aware of
Okay?
Jupyter reading
Sure. Very, very good.
then better to go with Jupyter, no sir?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
you should punch J,
right.
huh? You should punch J as your option on the
Yeah,
chat.
I have punched already, Jason, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So, friends, uh, in parallel, as and when all of you are, today is again a multitasking day, huh? It's again a multitasking day. As you spend more and more days with me, it's going to become more of multitasking. That means you're learning, you're listening, you're chatting with me, plus you're also doing the code work. Okay. So let's relaxedly understand what is the problem at hand. Hmm? And okay, this is a kind of a prototype or a small prototype model of a real problem. I have worked on this problem for the second largest private bank in India about 2.5 years back, and I got an opportunity 3 years back. So I worked on this project as I got the training assignment first, and the training got converted into project consultancy. So it was training come project consultancy where I became a part of the team which is developing the whole model. And so for the second largest private bank in India, we developed this model. So there's a team of about 7 to 8 people where I was supposed to train the people on certain aspects of machine learning because other people were domain experts. Domain experts means they were experts in the banking industry. And then there were some Python coders. So we had this group of people. We had about 3 or 4 very good Python coders who had at least 4 to 5 years of experience. We had 2 people who had spent close to 10 to 12 years in banking industry. They were from banking and finance industry. Okay, that's BFSI. We call it as BFSI sector, banking and finance sector. So these people are 10 to 12 years experience. Now what they needed was that over this 4 people here and over this 2 people here, plus, plus, there were some people who were from that respective, uh, because of the non-disclosure agreements, NDA agreements, I am not supposed to speak out the names, but I've already given you the second largest private bank in India. Okay, and it's a very popular bank. So that bank wanted that 2 of its own staff members should also get involved with the team, which is going to make this. So what they needed was they need a common person. So they needed a common person for which I was hired. So I was hired for training on machine learning models and how do you optimize machine learning models on some given data sets which were given by these people. They were given by these people. But then they found my work was good and they were happy, as I believe some of you are also happy with my work. So so these guys were happy with about 2 weeks of training, and they converted my 2 weeks of training into 6 months of my work. This was about 2.5, 3 years back. And this project was being done by Morgan Stanley, whose team I got involved with, and Morgan Stanley was doing this project for the respective second largest private bank in India. Now, what was they supposed to do? Okay, now coming on to the problem. The problem was this. This bank noticed that they receive complaints through various mechanisms. Most of the complaints were raised by call center executives. You call the call center executive of the bank and you tell them that I have been overcharged on a debit card, I have my loan EMI has been debited twice, or I have been charged an additional interest on my loan EMI, and then there are so many other things that my credit card has not come, my debit card has not come, my card is not working, password has got changed, blah 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 blah. There were so many complaints on varieties of complaints which come. Example, billing address not changed. As simple as this. Obviously complaints could go from over a degree, from severity, uh, levels. So it could be really a severe complaint. Example that your EMI of your housing loan has been deducted twice. It's not a small joke, right? It's a big thing to happen. Maybe EMI is let's say 70,000 rupees and this debited twice from your account. That's going to be really shocking. Or you have sold your car and your car loan was completed and still the EMI is being deducted. This is not correct, right? And complaints could be as petty as that my in my billing address my mobile number has got changed. You are not reflecting the new mobile number in my bill. Okay, it could be as simple as that. Okay, now, so all these complaints were actually being logged in onto a portal. So the call center executive had the bank's portal where they were logging in these complaints. Complaints on this portal also used to come from the banking employees. Okay, I'm going to go very slow on explaining this because there is no fun in solving a coding problem if you don't understand the problem itself. Then if you just look at the code and you keep solving with me, then you're not solving the problem. You're only working with me. You're just following my instructions. You're not solving the problem. I want each and every learner friend of mine to solve the problem, not to work along with me. No, we are all friends. We are on the same level. Okay, so banking employees were the second set of people who could put a complaint, and the third variety of complaint or the third input. So this is the first input category. The second input category is the banking employees, and the third input category is the customer himself. The customer himself can also go to the website of the bank and go to the grievances section and enter his complaint. So there are so many ways the complaint could come onto the portal. Okay, this portal is definitely web-based. It is web-based as well as mobile-based. That means for a customer, he can put a complaint even through the mobile app. But for the banking employees, only web-based interface. For the call center people, only web-based interface. So web-based interface was used for 90% of all such particular queries or complaints coming. Okay, so this portal, this is not your job. This is not a job of the workshop over here. The website portal was well in place from the last 8-10 years. Okay, the problem is still not come. Wait, problem is going to come now. Now, all these complaints were routed on the basis, of the category in which the person has mentioned the complaint, or the branch he has mentioned the complaint, and at times the complaints used to be very generic, so they were categorized as miscellaneous. Okay, now this particular bank, having close to approximately 8,000 plus branches all India, was getting close to approximately 1 lakh complaints on daily basis. Out of 1 lakh complaints, 50,000 complaints would be very petty. That's a different issue. But they were logged in, no? Please appreciate the fact that they were logged in into the portal. There was a ticket generated for it. There was a ticket ID generated for them. Now, what is a call center executive or banking employee going to do? You think he's really worried about your complaint? Be honest. Come on. He's not. The call center executive, you think that he or she is really worried about your complaint is solved or not? No, they are not. So what they used to do, on their portal, they had a drop-down box where they were supposed to choose in which category the complaint is coming in. Usually the people communicating in English, the customers communicating in English and the call center executive communicating in English were found a little more effective. This was done through the EDI analysis. They were found a little more effective in actually recording the complaints. But then people talking in regional languages like Hindi, Tamil, Marathi were not found to be effective in recording the complaints. Maybe because of the language barrier. Because people used to call and say the whole story. And the call center executive says that, yeah, from the story, whatever he picks up, whatever he or she picks up, they mark the category here. The category could be loan complaint, the category could be a debit card, category could be a credit card. So they choose one of the drop down boxes and they choose one of the branches. Okay, so category and branch both selected, and the complaint gets shooted to a particular person here. It is shooted to a particular email ID of the respective branch. Simple. And that person has to solve. Now, to be very honest, if this person's email ID receives 500 plus, I'm just taking an example, okay, 500 plus complaints a day, you can please forget that there is going to be a human efficiency in segregating the complaints. That means you're relying on the human efficiency to segregate the complaints. Because if somebody receiving 500 plus complaints on his email ID, because that is a given email ID for the bank. Let's say the bank is abc.com. So there's a complaints andheri@abc.com, and all the mails have come down there, and the respective branch person has to resolve it. This human, first of all, may not be able to handle these many complaints a day. And what this guy is going to do is, it's very logical, common sense that this should be done in all the banks, and it is a way it is done in all the banks. He delegates. He delegates the complaints to the respective department. The loan department is separate. The demat shares department is separate. The mutual funds is separate. So he's just forwarding the respective mail that you handle it. You are the officer for the respective thing. You handle it. Okay, cool, fine, understood. So and some of the 50% complaints were directly handled by the call center executive. Example, changing the mobile number. That will not come to you. Changing the mobile number will not come to you. Please understand that. Or updating your address will not come to you. Updating your date of birth is not going to come to you. Request for additional bank statement will not come to you. So therefore, I'm saying from 1 lakh complaints, I have just taken 25% complaints here. 8,000 branches into 500 is 40,000. So out of 1 lakh, I have taken only 40,000 complaints here. 40%. 60% complaints were handled. They were very petty complaints, so they were handled by the call center from the portal itself. Okay, like knowing the balance, knowing about the terms and conditions, whatever. Now, the point is further. Let me extend the problem further. So understand how a problem is to be understood in the real life. You get a whole case study. So the human efficiency was put to test here, and this was to be done. Now look at where the bottlenecks are. And if you disagree with me, you are free to debate with me on it on the chat. But if you agree with me, you can please say agreed. I look at these bottlenecks. The first bottleneck is how effectively did the call center executive hear you out? कितने ध्यान से उसने आपको सुना? Accordingly, only he or she would have recorded the correct category. So if there is a mistake here in recording the correct category, I'm sure the whole thing flows wrongly. The person mentioned about a loan against credit card, and you thought of it as a loan directly taken from the bank. I think you made a mistake. So there was a mistake right at the initial stage of recording the information. So that mistake is going to keep on propagating till the time if the bank executive talks with the customer and actually gets a clarification of the problem. And that's the reason complaint resolutions were being delayed. And the bank said that to hold our reputation and to hold the competitive edge, we have to ensure that our complaints should get resolved as fast as possible. Okay, fine. So the first bottleneck is I'm marking it green, is a point where the information is being recorded. The second bottleneck is The second bottleneck is the human efficiency of this bank manager or the bank officer, where you are expecting him to delegate the task to the respective person. And the last is the bottleneck on the person on this respective chair, because maybe the regular person is on leave and a person who doesn't knows anything about this has come onto the seat. He knows nothing about it. Because mostly in these private big banks, your job is in rotation. For 6 months, you're in teller section, another 6 months, you're in DMAT, another 6 months, you're in selling mutual funds, because they want all the employees to get used to all the front end bank officer task. These are called as front end bank officer task. They want you to get accustomed to all of them. Okay, sounds well. No problems about it. Now, because I hope this point is clear of the three bottlenecks. Yes, so yeah, I'm making this problem very simple. This documentation was more than 100 pages, but I'm just making this very, very simple. So, friends, could you please acknowledge that till now is my whole flow clear, and could you identify the 3 points of the bottleneck? Do you agree with me? Okay, right. So quite a few people have agreed to this, right? Okay. Dr. Pushpa, you have punched in a query over here on the chat which says, can somebody give you the path that a file has to be read in the program? Nobody can give you that path. Please understand, Pushpa, the code is there, the file is there on your local machine. So you have to find where it is on a local machine and accordingly give the path. Nobody else can give you.
Yes, yes. No, no. It was by mistake. I got the path
Okay.
and I have
Very good.
downloaded the file. Yeah, I
Very
have
nice.
yeah, got it. Got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Right. You know, having to download the file. Pushpa, you have to upload the file into your collab. You have to
Yeah,
load the file into
I
your.
have uploaded the file in Jupyter.
Okay, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Now, friends, I'm going to come
sir,
into the. I'm going to come into the ML part of this particular part of where and how ML could help us over here and what is this application. Before I come into this, let me do a parallel work with all of you. The parallel work is, please run the very first cell here, which is importing all the libraries, and run the next cell in which we are doing read CSV of consumer complaints.csv, reading into the data. So I got the data frame and I'm just printing the info of the data frame. Please run both of these cells, let them keep running in the parallel. And if your data, so-called as consumer complaints.csv, has been loaded into the data frame and you printed data.info and able to see the output, please punch a yes. See, my output has come. So please punch a yes on the group.
sir, can you show all the column names? Because I will verify as I have mounted from the drive. So I'll just verify whether I'm getting the same data set. Yes, I got it.
Right? Yeah.
Sir, I would say mounting the drive takes little time actually compared to
Yeah,
downloading
obviously,
and
Jupyter will take you 1 minute. Mounting the drive will take you maybe 5 to 10 minutes max. Uploading will take you 1 hour. Yeah, these are the three paradigms of working.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So coming back to this. So friends, the point that comes up over here is we're looking at these problems. So what the team thought? There are a lot of things as team thought, and but looking at subjective to what ML could do is, if there are these bottlenecks, so the bottleneck happens at the point where the categorization of data is happening. Okay, so we can remove this problem by doing something like this. See, when a query is getting recorded, obviously there is a narration that is supposed to be made. Now, this narration could come in either from what is typed by the call center executive, and because the bank decided that they're going to reduce their call center staff by 20-30% in the next year on year, and they're going to move away from call center executives to chatbots where people will be forced to type in. Okay, that's good. And as regards the narration given by the customers from the bank website, that's obviously people are not going to speak. So when they go to the website, they're going to type their complaints narration. Okay, sounds well. And also the banking employees are going to, so the bank website, the customer types in the narration, and the bank employees also type in the narration when you go to a bank. They listen to you and they type in the narration. But this is a problem. That's sir, we have recorded a problem. We'll get back to you very soon. Cool. So the narration was recorded. And the narration is recorded is of course in an English text format. And it becomes a pure case of NLP, natural language processing application. So what the bank thought was that if we are taking an NLP application, then can we take this NLP application and understand what text input has been given, and this text input, we can perform some kind of ML work, which we will talk about, maybe a simple classification, like we have done logistic regression, we have done naive Bayes, we have done random forest classifier and decision tree classifier. So any classification algo could be used, and could we take up this text and divide it into different classes, and from these classes we could categorize them as class 1, let's say loan. This could be loan against credit card, and make up a model which gives us an accuracy score which is greater than the manual accuracy score. The manual accuracy score was found to be approximately 77 point something. So 77% was approximate manual score. We got the model initially with 80% and we optimized, changed the inputs, how they were supposed to be given, that is on the web portal, and we got finally an accuracy of the best accuracy of 88% under test conditions. Under real conditions, the accuracy is very close to the manual. It's approximately about 78 or 79%. This is under actual conditions, under actual usage conditions. This is under test conditions. Okay. So the bank had anyway made a problem statement and mentioned that we will be implementing our model if we are getting an accuracy greater than equal to 77%. Now, how much did the bank save? They saved a few millions, because they could work on their target of reducing their dependency on the outsourced call center by 20% year on year. So they wanted to save up to 20% year on year. So first year they saved about 10%, second year 8%, like this. Next, they could get a model which is as equivalently as good as this. So their dependency on human management reduced. You know, your staff is going on leave. Your bank manager goes on leave, who was supposed to segregate the complaints to various people. Now who handles? It's assistant manager. Assistant manager is having his own work. So should he handle the work of the manager, or should he handle his own work? And obviously, if he handles too much of work, there is going to be lack of efficiency. Just imagine yourself, you are all working in colleges. If your principal is giving you too much of work, will your efficiency not get affected? 2-3 days you can work with a lot of energy, but on the third day you will feel down. So this is a problem that happens. These are human problems. So human management task greatly reduces. This also saves money. Time saved is money saved. So the point was that, so in real conditions, it is giving at an average 79%, which is very good. So the model came into place, and it is still in use. So for the last 2.5-3 years, it is absolutely working perfectly well. What does the NLP model do? The NLP model is basically doing classification of all the complaints that come and get. So the complaints are segregated according to this, and they are auto emailed to the right person. So a loan complaint will never go to a person who's handling demat shares. A demat complaint will never go to a person who's handling loan. So you have got a clear-cut segregation. Now, because the system is itself segregating and emailing to the right person, if this person doesn't resolve, it is emailed to the person, not to the centralized bank ID. Now, it is emailed to the respective person of the bank. So, person who handles teller, person who handles loan, of credit card, demat. So, let's say there are 5-6 people who are handling different portfolios. The email goes to their ID. So, if the person logs into the portal, let's say if I am an employee of the respective bank, let's say, let me take an example. Let's say myself and Pallavi are employees of the bank. So, if I log in today into the bank's portal and I see the complaint, the portal logs it. The portal is logging it. Rocky Jagtiani has seen the complaint at 5:40 p.m. Moment I see the complaint, the time is recorded. It's like a WhatsApp message. You see it, that's it. You see a green tick there. सामने वाले को green tick मिल जाता है. So you have seen it. Now, if I don't handle it or don't initiate any operation in the 24 hours, this will show a red mark against me. This will show a red mark against me. Why? Because this is trying to highlight me. Why didn't you handle it? Why didn't you handle it? So it's like, if you don't take it for another 24 hours, it will be reported to your senior automatically. So I have to, then obviously as an employee, I will look into it. I'll take some action, right? So moment I take it this way, first of all, I'm the right person to handle it. First. Second, I put a narration over here to handle the query, or I call the customer and resolve the query. Simple as that. So within 24 hours or 48 hours, the queries were getting resolved, or at least they were being handled in this process, because human dependency reduced. Nobody can blame, Arey, this person wrongly emailed it to me, and then I emailed it to the right person. This was happening in the banks. That A mailed it to B. B says with a reason on the portal that this query is not to be handled by me, it is wrongly mailed by A and it is mailed to C. And C is supposed to handle it. So in this transaction, you wasted 24 hours. Your 24 hours slot is gone, no? Because B had a chance of 24 hours to react to it, and he reacted and he passed on the query to C, who has another 24 hours to react. That means the query is unanswered for 48 hours. And nobody can be blamed because you have handled in 24 hours. So the bank found this is a loophole among the employees, and the staff gets cooperative among each other so that nobody is blamed and they do this mischief. So how do I reduce this human management problems? I hope you're able to appreciate what I'm trying to say. So this was reduced by this ML model. Now what you see here is, of course, dummy data. This is not the data of the bank for I've worked with. I don't have the data with me any which ways. So, but this data is very close to it. And this is a simple, humble prototype of the problem solved. Okay. So I hope in this briefing of mine, all of you would have loaded your data. People working in Collab, data may not have yet got loaded. It will take time. Okay. Now, many times, friends, when we load data, we have to in Jupyter put this message: low memory equal to false. Because if your machine is having low RAM, like my machine is having, it's a ThinkPad having 8 GB RAM, but at times 8 GB RAM also becomes less. So it'll give you a warning called low memory, going low on memory. It'll go on blimping a warning here on the Jupyter notebook. So to avoid that warning, I put low memory equal to false. That means even if I'm going low on RAM, still please load my data. Okay. Whenever you load a datasets could have many different internal encoding formats. I have already, for your further reference, this is the Collab notebook. Please have a look. Why encoding? I have given the Stack Overflow link as well as, so why encoding? Because when you load the data, you may get an encoding error, which I got. So obviously then I have to check that the default encoding format of read CSV is UTF-8, Unicode text format 8 bits. but that may not be the way the CSV file is recorded. So that's the reason I had to give an encoding. So I've given you two links. First is the Stack Overflow link, that when you get encode decode error, you must specify some encoding technique. And second, other encoding options available in the docs of Python. So there are some standard encoding options. There are 6 or 7 options available. You try one of it and you get it. If you're saying me this, that looking at the CSV file, can I know the encoding? No, you cannot. You cannot. You have to try the encoding options here. There are 3 or 4 options to try. Try it and one works. That's it. Simple as that. Okay. Now let me go on to the chat also to look at the chats. Okay. Friends, if I look at my data set, I'm having about 5,55,957 records. You can always notice very carefully that the call center executives have not recorded the subproduct. They have recorded the product. They have not recorded the subproduct. Okay, and they have recorded the issue, but they have not recorded the sub-issue in many cases. This is the most important thing. Consumer complaint narrative, but unfortunately, consumer complaint narrative has been recorded only for 66,806 complaints out of 5,55,957 complaints. That means so many complaints don't have a narrative. And I'm very sorry, for complaints which don't have a text description, NLP application cannot do anything. See, NLP will work if you give him text. If you don't give him text, he can't do anything. He's helpless. Okay, right? So you can notice that there are a lot of columns which have blank data. I can also notice that tags have only 77,959 complaints have been tagged in what category they have to go. Consumer consent provided is 1,23,458. Yes, I do say that there are a lot of nulls. So this column is having so many null values. Consumer complaint narrative is only there for 66,000 records. That means 5,55,000 minus 66,000. That's close to approximately what? About 4,80,000. So for 4,80,000 records, you don't have consumer complaint. They are null. Okay, so you can see that there are a lot of null values in this data set. Right. Now students, now learners, your coding part will start along with me. You have to see what is missing in your cells, and you will have to tell me, is this code not there, so that I can punch it over the chat. Okay, have a look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the required columns and rows. I'm only selecting 2 columns. First, the product. The product could be debt collection, consumer loan, mortgage. And second is consumer complaint narrative. Consumer complaint narrative. So I'm loading these 2 columns into my. Further, what I can notice is that I'm using pandas not null to find only the not null rows with respect to the columns of consumer complaint narrative. That means I'm taking only 66,806 values. I hope you're able to understand, because I said not null. So in consumer complaint narrative, I only have 66,806 not null values. Only those values are being taken. I know you would say, Rocky ji, product B 66,000 hoga. No, product is available for all 5,55,957, but the corresponding consumer complaint narrative is only available for 66,806. So for my NLP application, if there is no consumer complaint narrative, then there is no question of NLP being applied. That means the query was resolved by the call center executive itself on the terminal or on the portal by using the function like changing the mobile number, changing the address, date of birth, telling the balance, or redemption of mutual funds, okay, or verifying your bank details, for a debit of an insurance premium. So these things can be handled on the phone itself. There's no reason for NLP or a machine learning classification model to come in the picture. Okay, so you picked up these two columns, brought it into the original data frame. I removed those rows which have this column as blank. So only 66,000 rows are left in my data frame. I just thought of doing a head. I did a head to get this kind of an output. Yeah. So friends, please let me know. Have you also got data.head up till this point? Please tell me a yes. Okay. Dr. Kranti, Apeksha, Dr. Pushpa, Pooja have said yes. Others? What about others? They're also executing with me, right? Afzal says yes. Okay. So, but Sonali, you written on loaded, that's okay. But please make sure that if there is any code missing, please do let us know, huh? Indrajit, if you're working in Collab, then I wish you good luck because data loading may take up till 6:45, 7. Session would have ended by that time. Okay. So let's move one step further. Now, friends, we all are aware that the product column is a categorical data. And because this product is a categorical column, it has to be encoded as a label encoded data. That means instead of keeping as debt collection and consumer loan and mortgage, it would make more sense if we do it as give them as numbers. So I'm converting them into label encoding, and once I convert them into label encoding, have a look at this. So what I'm doing is I'm picking up from my data frame the product column, and I'm using a function called factorize. Yes, to be very honest, this is optional. This is an optional step, but there are other ways of doing it also. Apart from factorizing, you can use label encoder and also label encoder. You can make a dictionary of your own and use the map function. So there are multiple ways of doing it. But I thought that in the previous case I have mentioned on label encoding, so it's my due responsibility that in this case I should mention to you a different method so that you learn a different mechanism or different way also. So if I factorize my data, and factorize actually returns a lot of data, so I'm factorizing and I'm returning only the zeroth column. The zeroth column is the value of what is given, meaning to say, so wherever you see debt collection you will see a 0. So it is basically mapped the debt collection to an index 0 or label encoded as 0. Consumer loan is 1. Mortgage is, so wherever you see a mortgage, it's going to be, wherever you see a mortgage is going to be 2. And you can notice mortgage coming for number of times is going to be 2 for number of times. Credit card is being numbered as 3. Again, consumer loan was 1, right? Consumer loan was labeled as 1. So you can see consumer loan labeled as 1. Okay, right. Now, the point is this, that this data which is here, product has been factorized as labels, and these are my labels. I have named this column as category ID. Now I have got 3 columns. 2 are going to be my focus columns, right? One is consumer complaint narrative and category ID. But yes, if you wish, you can keep working with products also. Not a problem. As of right now, you can keep working. Till the time we have to feed it. Only when we're going to feed into the machine learning system, that time I'll have to worry about converting this column into some numeric value. Again, the big question. Rocky ji, can we give text to a machine learning model? No, we cannot. Machine learning model, as friends, we all know very well for such a long time, it only understands numeric data. He doesn't know anything other than that. He only understands numeric data. He knows nothing more than that. Simple. So we will have to learn of how we convert a text into a numeric data. And because of the uh, time slot that I have been allotted, I thought that to most effectively utilize it, it would be better that I don't practically run, but I should explain to you through a blog that if I have some text data and if I wish to convert them into numeric, there are actually two ways of doing it. The first way is using bag of word model, and the second way is using term frequency inverse document frequency. Definitely using TF-IDF is a much better technique than the bag of word model. We have used the TF-IDF technique for our purpose. Now, I have already mentioned in the Collab notebook a very good blog article to explain both of them. I'm not sharing my notebook because my notebook is a lot of coding. There is a notebook separately for this. So there's lots of coding. So that not help because you have to understand the concept. Code part is there in this notebook also for the TF-IDF. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to take you there. We're going to spend 10 minutes on that blog also. Okay? Right. So we now know that if I want the ML model to analyze my words and classify them, I'll have to convert them into numeric vectors. Okay, so you will see that. But before that, I thought we should do some EDA, exploratory data analysis. So what I have done, I have gone to my data frame. I've grouped all the complaints, 66,000 complaints by product. And I took the product column and I found a count of it. This is as good as saying value count. So I found a value count by product wise and I got this as an answer. Complaints related to bank account or the service from the bank is 5711. If I look at the highest ones, I can see that there are three things which are very highest. They are quite on the higher side. Have a look. Credit reporting is 12,526 complaints. Debt collection is 17,552 complaints. And mortgage, that means loan against property or loan for property, is 14,919 complaints. Trust me, friends. If your bank can handle credit reporting, debt collection, and mortgage, then out of 66,000 complaints, you have already handled 50% of the complaints. You can mentally add them 12,000, 17,000, and this is approximately 15,000. Just add these three in your minds. You will realize that you have crossed 35,000. That means 50% complaints can be handled if you handle only these three very well. Okay. Now check the distribution of complaints by category. I got a message on the chat that it is not there and the code comes your way.
Even factorization code is not there. Sir Rocky sir, factorization code is also not there.
Okay. I will be sending the factorization code also. Everyone be careful in what cell has come. Your my screen also in parallel. I'm holding up here at the factorized code. People done with factorization and with grouping by product, please say me a yes. Both done, then say me yes. Okay, Dr. Pushpa is the first to report. And she says yes for both. Very nice. Apeksha, done. Very good, Apeksha. Others bug up, please. Dr. Kranti says yes, fantastic. Pooja says done, very good. Okay, so with this assumption that people are doing multitasking, they're listening to me as well as getting the codes working. Afzal says yes, very good. Okay, now we move further on to my next set. So I thought that, of course, this is not so necessary, but then, pictures speak 1,000 words. So what we did was, in the previous case, we only grouped by product, right? Now what I'm doing is, after grouping by product, I'm taking a column called consumer complaint narrative. I can take any column here. I could take the product column also, like in the previous case, like here. So any column can be taken. If you want to take the product column itself, see, once the data has been grouped by product, you are effectively counting the product only. You're effectively counting the product entries in the product column for the respective group. And then I'm plotting in a bar graph. I want my y-axis to start from 0 and not start from a higher value like 10 or 100. Let's have a look at this. So your y-axis is starting from 0, and in Matplotlib, the y-axis is automatically calibrated depending upon the highest number of entries. If you notice here, this bar goes the peak. This bar goes as a complete peak. So this bar indicates debt collection. So there are highest number of complaints with respect to debt collection. Okay, right? So how many people done with the bar graph also? And if the code is missing, please let me know. Okay, Pooja reported yes. Dr. Kranti reported yes. Very good. Okay, so some of my friends have reported yes. That's good. Right. Of course, we have noted this right from visual senses only. We need not even look at the bar graph. We could look at from our tabular data that debt collection and mortgage are the highest. In fact, debt collection, mortgage, and credit reporting, these three entries are on the higher side. If we are able to handle them, that's more than sufficient. Okay, now we move on further. As a practice, friends, I have always said that machine learning has a pipeline. So you have to follow the pipeline process in a very standardized, systematic way. So how does it goes? Model selection dot train test split is splitting the data. The data has two things. This is your X value consumer complaint narrative, and this is your Y value data product. The default split of train test split is 75-25. I hope everybody remembers. 75% for training, 75% for training, and 25% for testing. Please also notice, friends, we have not given a random state here. That's the purpose. I don't want all of us to get the same efficiency. I mean to say the accuracy. So all of us could get little different accuracies because this train test split will not split the same set of records for you and me as the random state is not specified. Okay. So I did this with a purpose so that all of us could get little different accuracies, although our accuracies are going to be very close to each other, but they will not to be same. Right, and what is this object of model selection? Please remember, I had already imported all the modules. It is a model selection only which holds the train, test, split, train, test, split method, right? So, as you could see here, I have done all the imports at one place. So that's the reason you're saying, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the reason you're seeing all the imports at one place. So this looks very clumsy. A lot of imports, but that's a good practice. Rather than putting imports at in various cells, I've dumped it all in one cell. Okay. Model selection, train,
Sir,
test, split. Yes.
Sir, when I kept all the libraries at one place, it was giving me an error for matplot that PLT has not been defined. So I have to give again in that column. So I have interrupted you. You told that I copied all the libraries as you have done in the first column itself, but again it gave me an error that matplot has not been, and then again I have to paste here at the code. So
I don't think that should be the problem. Problem is if you
no, it
rerun your
was
cell.
given me that PLT has not been defined. So
I understood what you're trying to say, but listen back to me too. That import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So this line is over here. So there is a possibility that this cell never ran, or maybe your Colab notebook or
okay,
Jupyter got a break, kernel got a break in between. So all the imports would have got lost. So just rerun this cell and
okay,
then come back. I don't think so there is any reason that why you should copy paste this.
okay, right, sir.
Right. Okay, so I am moving on to the next thing. Okay, so everyone, data splitting done. Please confirm yes or no with me. Data split code is there, no? Dr. Kranti said yes, that means it is done. Apeksha also says yes, very good. Pooja says yes, okay. Right, so enable confirm. Okay, now, the next thing which in your notebook cell should be, why am I doing TF-IDF? I just explained to you that text data can't be given to an ML model. So we have to perform some kind of way to convert your text data to numeric data. And to do that, there are two ways: bag of word model and a TF-IDF, term frequency, inverse document frequency. So there is a very good link which is there in your notebook also. So I request all of you to pick up that link and open that web page, please. Okay, so it's a beautiful blog which explains to you conceptually what is bag of words and what is TF-IDF for creating features from text. Let me highlight you the key points of this particular blog. Assume that you have been given some sample reviews of a particular, let's say, of a horror movie, and this is what the reviews were. Review 1 so and so, review 2 so and so, review 3 so and so. Okay, and these reviews, if you read them, the movie is very scary and long. Second review, the movie is not scary and is slow. Okay, review 3, the movie is spooky and good. So all these three reviews, to be very honest, don't give a common consensus. And there are words coming in each of the reviews which actually don't add value to the review. Example, a word like this, or a word like is, or a word like and. These words don't add value. So they're not adjectives, right? They're only connectors. They're only sentence completers. these words are called as stop words, because these words don't add value to your meaning. So if I want to say that this movie is very scary and long, what is the context? Context is, or what do you derive from it? Scary and long. What are you deriving? Or simple word, scary, comma long, is what I've derived from this entire review 1. Saying that from review 1 I have derived the word this or word is not going to be correct. Every review is going to have the movie's name or the word this or that. These are called stop words. So these stop words don't add value to the review. Now, they make the content, but they don't make the context. I'm interested in the context. Okay, now how do we, suppose if you have to analyze these reviews. Okay, this blog doesn't analyze the review, but the point is that this blog teaches you that if there is a review to be analyzed or any data, text data, which is to be given to an ML model, how will you convert this into numeric vectors? The first approach, that is definitely a rule. Huh? It is a rule that you have to create vectors from text. It is a rule, you have to. So this technique of converting, creating vectors from text or converting text into vectors, I mean to say this one, converting text into numeric data. And this numeric data, not one single number, it's a collection of numbers. So this collection of numbers is called as vectors. This process of converting text into vector is called as word embedding. You're embedding a word as a vector. You're representing the word as a vector of numbers. And there are two techniques of doing it. BOW called bag of words. Other is TF-IDF, where TF stands for term frequency and IDF stands for inverse document frequency. So let's move one small baby step ahead. So how does the bag of word model work? Okay. Let's understand the 3 movie reviews which are given to us, 3 sentences which are given to us. So we will first build a vocabulary from all the unique words in the above 3 reviews. So if I find the unique words, for example, this comes only, so if I say unique, this will be taken only once. Movie will be taken only once. This only once, like that. So I will not take this 3 times, I'll take it only once. So and that's called as vocabulary. So when you join all your documents, I consider these three to be documents. So when we join all these 3 documents and find a set of it, SET, FDP1, we did data types of Python in the very first or second session. Set is helping you to find a unique set. So if I give this entire set of words to set, I'll get unique words, and that unique words forms the vocabulary of this entire corpus. So you call this as a corpus. Get these simple words, they are simple words to remember. Corpus is a collection of documents, and each review can be considered as a document. So doc 1, doc 2, doc 3. I repeat, collection of the documents called corpus. Each review can be considered as one document, and document is nothing but a collection of words. Right? On this note, I move further here. So this is the way bag of word model is created. So the review 1 says this movie is very scary and long. Please notice there is a 1. So if below the word, if there is a 1, that means that word appears. And if there is a 0, that word doesn't appear. Okay, look at the review 3. The review 3 is read as, where there is a 1, read that word. This movie is long, spooky, good. This movie is long, spooky, good. Okay, now maybe and is there, so but and is not taken over here, that's okay. So review 1, review 2, review 3, you have mapped the words into kind of a one-out encoding. It's very simple one-out encoding, to be honest. Now what we're doing is we're just adding the total number of words in each review. So length of review in words is 7, 8 and 6. Now if you can just correlate this and let's connect these 2 things. What we have done is we have written this row of a matrix as a vector, notice, and this vector is called as a vector of review 1, vector of review 2, vector of review 3. That's the idea behind bag of word model. But this is just for conceptual understanding. It's very rarely used in machine learning. It's not much used because there are a lot of disadvantages of bag of word model. which is mentioned here. Okay, what is term frequency? See, once we know term frequency, only then we can find TF-IDF. So term frequency is a little better technique. I'm quite sure this theory part may have been covered by somebody else also in some other NLP session, but I thought I should plan it to speak it out over here so that it forms a complete continuity. So term frequency is calculated like this. It's very simple. There's some formula given here which says n. So number of times a particular word comes in a particular document divided by number of terms in the document. Okay, let's straight jump to an example to understand this formula. Review 2 is this movie is not scary and is slow. All of us know the vocabulary of the entire corpus. Vocabulary is always of the corpus. Huh? Vocabulary is never of the document. Vocabulary means unique words in my corpus. So the unique words in my corpus are so and so. The number of words in the review 2 is 8. That of course we can count here and see. So if I want to find the term frequency for the word this, then I will do like this. This is a formula. Number of times this appears in the review 2, it appears once only, divided by number of terms in the review 2. Okay, that is 1 by 8 because there are 8 terms, so 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 is a term frequency of the word this. Okay, interesting. So I can notice that we can find like this a term frequency of every particular word, right? So you'll be wondering that in the review 2, why are we doing term frequency of spooky and term frequency of good now? That's a rule. We have to find term frequency of even those words which are in the vocabulary but not in the review. That's a rule. Okay, so you have found the term frequency for every word from the vocabulary with respect to your review 2. You put that in a tabular format like this. So what words appear in review 1? They will have some certain term frequency. Why 1 upon 7? Because there are 7 words in review 1. Out of which the word this appears once. So 1 upon 7. So on and so forth. Okay. Next. The problem with term frequency is, the problem with term frequency is that it is only able to give due importance to the word with respect to the current document. Now suppose if this word, imagine, if this word this comes 3 times in the review 1, then you would have said 3 upon 7. I hope you agree. If the word this comes for 3 times, you would say 3 upon 7. But then is this word important? Is this word this really very important? No, it is not. But still it's coming for 3 upon 7 times. So the problem with term frequency is it is giving importance to solely or only to the number of times a word comes. So if I look at it in a different way, think of it differently. Imagine that we are getting an AICT document related to admission process. We are getting some AICT document related to admission process. Because this year admissions have happened in a different way and a lot of changes have happened and a lot of colleges have had to face a lot of problems. So they have given some guidelines on the admission process. Imagine, okay, or some other process. Let's say the process of conducting this FDP program. They've got some guidelines. Now, if I consider guidelines for FDP program given by IICT to the respective college, then the word FDP may appear many times in the document. So let me assume that this document is having 1000 words, and out of the 1000 words, the word FDP appeared 50 times, and the word machine learning appeared for 5 times. Now, friends, if we go to say that the word FDP is more important than the machine learning, then I think we're badly mistaken. Why? Because this term, which has a very low frequency, but speaking about a term like machine learning or term like intelligent automation or a term like data science, which is appearing for 3 or 4 or 5 times, is actually giving the context of what is this document about. The word FDP doesn't give the context of what the document is about. So what is the problem with term frequency? Term frequency is going to give lot of importance to this particular term called FDP, because it is appearing for 50 times and is going to give minuscule or almost no importance to the terms like machine learning or data science or intelligent automation because they appear for very few times. And that's ridiculous. Because the terms which may in fact appear very few times are rare words. They should be caught because they could actually give you the glimpse of the document or what the document is about. But term frequencies, sorry, cannot do that. That's the reason we use something called as inverse document frequency. Now, what is the role of each? Term frequency is finding simple frequency of the term. It's simply counting. It's like counting by using hand. You can count on hand. FDP came 50 times, ML came 5 times, like this. Inverse document frequency is finding which terms come more often. It actually reduces the coefficient of the term. That means it reduces the importance of the term. So inverse document frequency will actually reduce the importance. It attaches a coefficient factor or importance factor and reduces the importance of those terms which come very often because it understands these are some content driven terms like the word FDP in AICT. Or imagine this. If I give you an IT document, income tax document, you will see the word according to Income Tax Act so and so. So the word Income Tax Act is appearing practically in every paragraph. Or is a law based document. Some law order number, so the words like order, clause is appearing in every page. But are they really important? No, they are not. So I have to reduce the importance of extremely high frequency words because they are nothing but stop words. They're just like stop, this, the, and they're like that only. So in a law document, a word like clause is as good as a stop word. You can please stop giving it importance. It is going to be there, but I will stop giving it importance. Okay. So I hope this is getting clear. Now I move on to understand how to do it. So we can calculate the IDA values for all the words in review 2 as follows. So inverse document frequency of the word this is equal to, you forget the log, you look at inside the term, number of documents, everybody knows it's 3, divided by, in number of documents which contain the word this, oh my god, the word this is coming in all the documents. That means it's technically not so important. So number of documents, total 3. The word this is coming for 3 times. So 3 upon 3 is 1. And log of 1, everybody knows 0. Oh, wow. So all those words which are appearing in all the documents, example movie, example is, example and, have been marked by IDF as 0. That means there is 0 importance to the corpus. They have 0 importance. So obviously when you do TF IDF, when you multiply both TF IDF, okay, these are IDF values for all the reviews. So what is TF IDF? Simple multiplication, simple term frequency into inverse document frequency. So let's take for one particular word this. So TF IDF for the word this in the review 2 is the term frequency of the word this in review 2, which happens to be 1 upon 8. You got it above. Into the inverse document frequency of the word this, which is 0. If I multiply both, I get the answer as 0. That means according to TF IDF, this word is useless. It has no importance. Please notice here, the words which are important have been given a non-zero TF IDF. Let's take an example. The word this has a TF IDF of 0 in all the cases. The word movie also a TF IDF of 0 in all the cases, so on and so forth. But not the word scary, not the word long, not the word slow. They have some value of TF IDF, please notice. That's what the objective was. The objective is to ensure that the TF IDF will give importance to those rare words which signify the corpus. Okay. So imagine in our case, the word complain. I launched a complaint on so and so date, but this bank manager at Chembur did not listen to me. This is going to be complaint word is going to come in every complaint narrative. Can you tell me complaint is about what? Complaint is about credit card. So credit card becomes a rare word for me now. That is important. Okay, right. So I hope the TF-IDF conceptually was clear from my side. Can you please punch in a yes if it is clear? Yeah, Apeksha, you mentioned no code. No code for what? You mean to say this part which I am on right now? There is a label encoder wala part. Yeah, Apeksha, can you please reconfirm? Are you talking about this part? The code is not there.
Yes, I cannot find
Okay,
this code, as well as
understood.
I want the
Understood.
link for that blog which you have just explained us, because I
Link
did
is there
find
in
it.
the notebook itself. Link is there in the notebook. It's not there. I'm
No, I did
surprised.
find it. I just find one link, and that is from the different website. That is tfidf.com, not the analytic link.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Both the
Fine. I'm
links are
sorry.
not there as well as
Okay,
this is not there, right?
right. Sure.
Even the
I'll
code
punch it
is
right
not
now on the
there,
group.
sir.
Yeah, I have punched both the links on the blog links on the group right now. And now I will just copy that blog links in the right place, as you could see, and then I will copy the, or rather I'll give the part of the code also. I'll take a pause for 30 seconds so that everybody can relaxively copy the blog links and tell me yes, done, then I'll post the code. Cool, that's nice. So let's move on to this. Label encode your categorical data into product columns. So what I can notice here is I'm using this pre-processing library. A label encoder is basically meant for encoding the labels. To be very honest, I repeat, to be very honest, we are using this label encoder directly directly by using fit transform over my train Y. Friends, what is the train Y holding? Let me go a little up. Not stressing our mind too much. Please notice the label Y is containing the product column. That is the reason I mentioned factorizing above is optional. I have also mentioned in the collab notebook that factorizing is optional because I wanted to just my intention was to teach you that there is another method called factorize. I had no intentions of per se using it in my data here, although to be very honest, the category ID is the label encoded column for product. But I'm using the standard process called label encoder because it's a very usual practice among all the machine learning engineers to use label encoders. That's a more frequent way of doing rather than using factorize function. Okay, yeah. So I made an object of label encoder which will give depth as 0 and credit reporting as 1. Okay, so what next? So I'm using this label encoder to fit and transform my train Y column. So all my product column will become from categorical data is going to become into numeric data like 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and use the encoder to even transform the valid Y. Okay, so Y values 75% in training and 25% in invalid, that is test data set, both have been encoded into 0, 1, 2, 3. So products is no longer depth collection. Product will now be 0, 1, 2, 3. If you wish, you can uncomment this line and also check it out by printing it. Okay, now let me check the notebook. Okay, hold on. Let me check the collab notebook. Is the code for the TF-IDF? Yes, that code for TF-IDF is also missing, so I should give you that code also. Wait, just a second. I'll give my commented code as well as the TF-IDF code. Coming on the chat your way, friends.
Sir, the label encoder is
From
also
encoder.
absent.
Sir, from encoder we have to paste, sir. From
From
encoder.
line number 8.
Line number 8, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll repeat post and I'll repeat post it. Okay, yeah. Don't pick up the previous code, friends. I'll repeat post everything once again. Anybody confirm with me that have you been able to copy paste the code correctly, and did it run? Did you get the output like this, the way I've got it? Apeksha says done. Afzal says yes, fantastic. But what about others? As Bhuma Devi says yes, fantastic. Still waiting for a few more confirmations, friend. Okay. Let me in parallel explain the code also, or what has been done in the code. So we made an object of TF-IDEA vectorizer. So you have seen how on a manual and paper based how it works in the blog. Same thing is happening here. In TF-IDEA vectorizer, we are specifying the analyzer equal to word. This is an extra parameter which we are giving. And only when you give analyzer equal to word, you have to specify the token pattern. I'll tell you why it is so. See, by default, TF-IDEA vectorizer will only vectorize those phrases or those sentences which are having at least 2 or more words. So to be very honest, giving analyzer equal to word and token pattern equal to, now this token pattern I have given a regex which says that I want words 1 or above. That means even if you give me one word complaint, even if you give me one complaint of one word, still the TF-IDEA vectorizer will take it and add it to the list. And if you feel no, I want to take complaints, I don't want to take one word complaints at all. I only want to take complaints of 2 words and above. I want to take complaints of 2 words and above. Then you can remove those 2 parameters. You can remove those 2 parameters and only specify this one parameter. Okay, let me show it to you. Okay, let me comment this part here. Just a second, huh? So let me uncomment this, and let me not worry about the the complaints given as single word complaints. Now, what are the max features? See, friends, when you're going to break your complaint narrative into individual words, if I just take you to the blog here, you could notice from the blog that the vocabulary which got formed, had only 11 words, because you had 3 reviews, and those reviews are also very pretty small, that hardly 6-7 words in every review. But here people have written stories in their complaints. If you do a little EDA on your own self, you will realize people have written stories, they have written essays in the complaints. Complaints are going like 100 words, 200 words, they have written complete essay. They have to write, that I sent this complaint to this person responded to me, but it did not happen, and this is a statement attached, bagara, bagara, bagara. So now if you look at it, complaints are like 50 words, 100 words, and there are 66,000 complaints. Your vocabulary will be nothing less than a lack of words. If I take a vocabulary of a lack of words and I give it to my system, then the system will take too long to generate the TF-IDEA vector. So what we are doing is, we are restricting the maximum features to 5,000. That means the 5,000 most important TF-IDEA features will only be considered. So if you look at this, if you look at this over here, just notice. So I'm not interested to consider the TF-IDEA with respect of the word this and then movie and is. Why? Because they're having zeros. But I will definitely consider for the word called very, because it is having some value. So what TF-IDEA does is, when you say max features 5,000, it will keep only those features in descending order which are having non-zero TF-IDEA. So the zero TF-IDEAs will all get dropped, and the non-zero ones will be arranged in descending order, and the best of that will be taken. The best 5,000 of that will be taken. Okay? I hope the meaning of the thing called 5,000 is clear. I repeat this. If you have, let's say, 10,000 features after dropping the zeros, then all those features are going to be arranged in descending order, and out of the descending order, you are picking up the top 5,000 features having higher TF, IDF values. Could anybody confirm that? Is this very clear? Is the concept of TF, IDF very, very clear? Please punch me a yes if it is clear. If it is not clear, you can ask me to repeat. You can say not clear. I'll repeat it once again. If it's not clear, you can ask me some specific question or what is not clear. Okay, Apeksha says repeat. Fine. Apeksha, but you have to specify what part is not clear to you. Something so that I understand of where you couldn't connect. Okay, fine. So Apeksha is not able to frame the question of it. Right. So have a look at this, Apeksha, and anybody else who wants me to repeat this. Have a look at this. Now, suppose if I ask you that I want maximum features equal to 5. That means I want TF-IDF of only 5 words. How many words do you have here? 11. If you were to drop the words, which would be the words which you will drop? Obviously, one which is having 0. So in TF-IDF review 1, you will drop all those words which have a 0 TF-IDF. Then you're left with very, you're left with scary. Now, among the word very and scary, okay, among the word very, scary, long, 3 words only coming up in, only 3 words are coming up with respect to, let me take a print screen of this to explain you better. Wait. Look at this, friends. So in the very first TF-IDF, obviously I'm going to drop all these things which are 0. So I'll pick up 1, 2, 3. So I've only got 3 features from the review 1, and I want top 5 features. Wait, hold on. Top 5 features of the entire corpus is what we want. So we got 3 features from here, and here I again got the word scary, I got the word not, I got the word slow. So I got 3 another features from here. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Already we crossed 5. And from here, these are 2 features which we got, spooky and good, which is 2. So 3 plus 3 plus 2 is 8. So you've got 8 features which are non-zero. Now, out of these 8 features, I am asking you to select 5. What would you do? Very obvious, no? You will arrange them in descending order, and one which is having the least will be dropped. Simple as that. Right? One which is having the least which will be dropped. So if you look at the word scary, the word scary is having 2 values, 0.025 and 0.002. So obviously I will have to, if you look at the corpus perspective, they will get added up. They will get added up. 0.025 and 0.002. They will get added up. But if you look at all of them, the importance of the word spooky and good are much higher. 0.80. See this. They are much higher than this. So obviously the lower terms will get dropped and the higher terms will remain. As simple as that. That is a funda. So, right, so you get the top 5 features. So instead of 5, we asked in our system for 5,000 features. Okay. Picture now, I hope is it clear? Little better. Okay, cool, good. Now, so you did this, okay, and I got some output here. So what, okay, on this TF-IDF vectorized, we have fit over what? We have fit over the consumer complaint narrative column, which is completely text, and the text column got completely converted. Please notice into this kind of data. Notice. So the 0 means the 0th sentence, the 0th complaint email. So your complaint email has index now. Your complaint, this column called consumer complaint narrative will have some narration returns, and those narration written at index values 0, 1, 2, You want to scroll and up and see? Yes. So this is the complaint narrative. Okay. So at the 0th index, whatever is the value, so the 0th complaint narrative has its first word. The first word appearing in that complaint narrative is at the index 4991. Please remember, you're going to have maximum 5000 features. That means you will not have more than 5000 words. So no index here will be more than 5000. The index of the words here will come from 0 to 4999. You will not see any index here on the second position. If you're wondering what is the 0, this 0 means the 0th complaint. So in my first complaint sentence, if you notice, you can see there are a lot of words in the first complaint sentence. Therefore, all values are 0. And because we've done a head, see, we've done a head. We have head means okay, not head. I've done a first 10 complaints. Therefore, if you just want to put the first one complaint to have a look of on it in detail, okay, then I'll just do it right now. Okay, in the meantime, I'll answer Apeksha's question also. But in this process, if we drop some important features as the number of features decided are lesser with respect to the corpus, then how do we decide on the number of maximum features? We cannot. Apeksha, there is no algorithm to decide on the number of maximum features. Usually it is about 20% of the corpus. There is a kind of a de facto standard, 20%, and you have to try with various values by by creating a for loop, and you increase the number of features, let's say by 100 each time, and try it out. That's the way we do it. There is no ready elbow method kind of thing to decide the maximum number of features. Okay, so friends, it is running, it's taking a little time. Please bear with that time. It will take time. Obviously, you will lose on data, but there is no question of dropping on important features because the TF-IDF is measuring the features, importance with respect to the entire corpus. So, what makes you feel that a word which is coming very often should be important? Only the words which are repeating very often will get low value of TF-IDF, which are getting dropped. So, what makes you feel that they are important? It is your myth that you feel that they are important, right? And if you still feel that no, that is an important thing, then the only option is that you do not use TF-IDF because TF-IDF will, it's like, see, TF-IDF is like a ridge or a lasso regression. It is a penalty. You're putting a penalty on your model to drop those words which come very often. Simple as that. So if you feel that the word which is important in your corpus is coming very often, then please don't apply the TF-IDF technique. Be happy with bag of words and move on. Okay? Right. Now, if I look at this carefully, I can see only 0 entries. Why? Because I only printed 1. So I can see the entries only of 0. So this is the 0th complaint. First word of the 0th complaint is coming at index 4991. Imagine that these are the index of the word. Imagine in this case, suppose the vocabulary is only of 11 words, suppose. Then this word is at the 0th index. Movie is at the first index. So this is what this guy is trying to say in simple sense. That the 0th complaint or the 0th narrative is having the first word at 4991 index position and its TF-IDF is 0.04. That means it is 4.7% important with respect to the given corpus. So you can see that these are the words coming and how they are important. Usually you will find words to have an importance of approximately 20 from 1 to 25%, 1% to 25%. You will not find words which are more than 25%, very rare. Okay. Why it has got truncated? Because there are a lot of words in the complaint narrative 0. Okay. Now, of course, we can do count and find the number of words, but that's anyway, that doesn't make any help. Okay, so you have found, what you have done is that you have converted your entire text matter. Imagine your first entire text matter is actually got converted into a vector, which is holding these values 0.07, 0.04, and this blah blah. Now, this is what the ML model understands. This is food for a ML model. So now, standard process, absolute standard process. I'm doing nothing more. I am making an object of logistic regression. I remember one of you asking me, I don't know who, asking me that, sir, I got an error of mentioning that the number of iterations is done. So, you know, by the way, the default number of iterations for logistic regression is 100. So I have kept the maximum iterations to be 500 to get a little better accurate result. And then we are fitting it over the training data frame, train data, as you could see. And please remember, friends, your X-train TF-IDF is not containing the English words. It's containing the vectors of the English words. It's containing TF-IDF vectors of those English words. This is food for ML. He understands this. How your computer understands zeros and ones. This guy, for him, this is a food. And the train Y is containing label encoded. Hear me clearly. It's containing label encoded product information. It doesn't contain debt collection. It contains debt collection ke liye 0. Credit reporting ke liye 1. Right? Now, what I'm doing is, I made my logistic regression model. And what I've done next is, I thought of printing the accuracy score and let me see what I get. Let me see. The patience. Wait. It will take time now because 5,000 features and 66,000 records, it will take time. Okay, let it take time. Let us continue our discussion ahead. Okay, so after printing the accuracy, I thought, somebody asked me in the crowd that could you print the classification report? I told, why not? So we printed the classification report, and the classification report is so very important. Why? Have a look. It says that if I look at every respect column and I look at the precision score, forget the recall and F1 score, in depth collection, it says that in my test, this is test data, this is the test data. So in my test data, which is 25%, there are 1432 records of depth collection, which your ML model was 82% times precise in identifying, not accurate. It could precisely identify 82% of the records which belong to depth collection, 82% of 1432. Overall accuracy which we got of the model is 0.85, that is 85%. If I take an average of the accuracy internally for all of them, I get 85% of 16,702. What is this? 16,702, my friends, is 25% of 66,000 records. Okay? It seems a previous cell has got ran. I got an accuracy of 84.75. Friends, come on, tell me your accuracy. Please punch in your accuracy. Any code missing, tell me. Fantastic, 85% is cool. Dr. Kranti, 84.86, that's quite close to mine. I'm dead sure that nobody will get below 80% and nobody will get above 88%. Nobody will get below 80%. In fact, forget below 80. Nobody will get below 82% also, and neither anybody will get above 88%. So your range is going to be that's called confidence interval. So the confidence interval of this kind of a problem is, or this kind of data which we have done is like 80 to 83, say Laker up till 88. We are going to get our accuracies in that range. Let us see 3 more accuracies now. You can see mine, you can see Abzal, you can see Dr. Kranti, you can see Vaishali. Come on, I want 3 more entries, please. Come on, friends, fast. 3 more entries.
Sir, I'm not able to run the code. I don't know where I am wrong in this code. I have pasted from the Colab to Jupyter. Just can you run upside the code, line 1, and just check out the code of this and that.
Which line, which cell have you got stuck in?
The last only, linear model only.
Linear model.
Oh, max iterations 200 I kept. It have to be 500. No, it was
No,
there
that's
in the
okay.
collab.
That's okay. You can keep 200. You can keep 500. 500 a little longer time. 400 will be faster. But where have you got stuck? I didn't understand
Here
that.
only, I am not unable to get anything in the print. It is only giving me the blank column.
See, it will take time to get the accuracy. It's not going to come in 30 seconds. You have to give it time.
Okay. So I have to wait. Okay.
Is this coming black in a Jupyter notebook? Is this coming black?
Okay, I'll just check.
Please check. If this is coming black, that means your kernel is running and it is running your code.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is Python 3.1 black spot is there.
Black spot matlab your kernel is running this code. So have
Kernel
patience.
busy it came. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So patience.
Okay.
Okay. So I got two more outputs. One from okay, a couple of more outputs. In fact, Vaishali gave me the output, then it's Pallavi, then it's a picture. That's good. As Bhuma Devi is giving me the whole code. Why she's giving me the code? Why? I don't understand. Oh, okay. Right. So punch in the accuracy. As Bhuma Devi, punch in the accuracy what you got. Okay. Right. So friends, for some people, the cell may take 2 or 3 minutes. So please bear. It depends on your hardware configuration of your computer. You know, if your computer is like i5, 8 GB, 16 GB RAM, this will run like Zoop. But if your computer is lower than 8 or 16 GB RAM and an i5, this may take time. Okay. Dr. Archana, fantastic. 84.4 is good. Now, what do I notice? I notice that I'm printing the classification report, which I already mentioned to all of you. I hope the classification report code is there. If it is not there, please tell me. I'll punch it on the group. Apeksha says it's there. Fantastic. Okay. So you can run the classification report and you'll get some answer. Now, what am I doing? See, friends, the people in the management of any bank are not interested of how much code you have done, and that I believe is applicable to everywhere in any company or any institution or any organization. Management is not interested to know how you have done the work. They are more interested to know has the work been done or not. They are more interested to know the end results. Okay, so I thought that picture speaks 1,000 words, so let us plot a picture. So what we are doing here is I'm taking the entire confusion matrix into this variable, and let's not get into this too much of this code. The funda is that I'm trying to plot a heat map by using Seaborn, because if some of you have forgotten Seaborn from the FDP1, or if you never attended FDP1, then I'm sorry you won't connect to this. But then that is okay. You can take this code granted as for granted. And so I'm plotting a heat map. Annotation means labeling. So all these labels, this coming 1, 1, 3, 7, 15, they're not coming on their own there because annotation is kept as true. So whatever is the confusion matrix, we are plotting a heat map, a colorful map of it. Annotation equal to true means we are going to show numbers in every box. Further, do you want to have your X tick and Y tick labels? Yes, I do wish to. You can see the Y tick labels here, and you will see the X tick labels here at the bottom. Okay, and then there are some formatting options. I have kept the formatting option as D, and the color map as it's like BU stands for blue and PU stands for purple. Okay. Now, anyway, not going much into it. Concentrate on the output. We are just left with about 7 to 10 minutes, so I don't want to waste time on non-critical things. Let's have a look at this. If you feel that, in my formatting options, I want to know what is that option, you can always Google and find out, friends. That's a very minor thing. Okay, now look at this carefully. You can see that there is an indexing graph coming on the right side. Look at this indexing graph coming on the right side, which goes from 0, which is light blue, to dark purple, which is a 3500. So wherever you see a dark purple, that means there is a problem of concern. So if I look at my first case, and don't worry, diagonal elements will always be dark. Why? Because diagonal elements indicate that there are actually in debt collection. You see what this means. Actually in debt collection, there are so many entries: 1137 plus 15 plus 105 plus 26, blah blah blah, the whole row. If you add the whole row, it will be equivalent to the support value. This one, 1432. Understand only one row properly. 1432 is a support. That means actually there are 1432. I repeat, actually there are 1432 entries under debt collection, and your machine learning logistic regression model could correctly classify 1137 out of it. And the next highest value where it misclassified debt collection was 105, which if I just scroll down, I will see it is mortgage. See, so debt collection 1137 was misclassified into mortgage. It means what? It means that people who typed the narration, directly the customers or the call center executives or the banking employees who typed in the narration of the complaint, misused the word debt collection as mortgage. Therefore, debt collection was misclassified as mortgage. So I think I should provide them an autocomplete tool instead of asking them like an email, go and type everything, whatever you type. Don't do that. Tell them to type a narration and give them autocomplete help in the web portal which you have made for them, so that they don't misuse or wrongly use their words. At times, tell me when this honest experience, as friends. Whenever I ask you that what you have not understood, many times you're not able to frame your answer specifically or what you have not understood at that instant of time, isn't it? So you'll say, Arey, Rocky's G, we just heard you right now. How can we frame a question on that? But my friend, the call center executive also heard you right now, right? The call center executive is not a friend of yours. He's also heard you just 2 minutes back. So how do you expect him or her to create a narration for you? Think. So if you cannot create a narration after being so educated, how will a call center executive who's 12 past actually create a narration of your conversation? It's not easy. So what we need to do very clearly is we need to create some kind of an autocomplete tool like Grammarly tool on the web portal, which so that when the person types a narration on a particular category, he only gets particular set of keywords. He will not be able to use any other word. And that will make more sense. Or we can have predefined narrations given, out of which one has to be selected. So that is going to reduce the problem of data entry error. This is called data entry error. If data entry error is reduced, the same model will give you 95% plus accuracy in classification. And that's what is good, right? Now, so this is what I want to tell you with respect to one particular row. And if that is clear, I believe things are very clear on this. Okay, so this is what is all about it. And then I put my analysis below. The accuracy 85% is good for a baseline model. Precision and recall look pretty good across blah blah categories. Okay, if you look at a payday loan, most of the wrong predictions are debt collection and credit card, which might be because of the smaller number of samples in this category. It also sounds like a subcategory of a credit card. That means payday loan means 1 day's loan. People take their loan that because they're going to get a pay 2-3 days later, so they take a loan on the credit card in the US and they will repay it back when the salary is credited in their account. And this is usually given by the banks if they maintain a salary account of a particular person. Okay? So now I like to test my model. Vaishali, I'll come on to you with respect to your query. I don't think it's a query. You have done a grid search CV to find the best set of parameters. I'll talk about it after 2 minutes. Let me first finish the work at hand. Right, so prediction example. I have taken some arbitrary sentence here. This company refuses to provide me verification and validation of debt. Contact per my right under so-and-so department, I do not believe this debt is mine. Okay, somebody is wrongly put the loan and onto you. Okay, now, okay, so TF-IDF is transforming first the text part, obviously you have to do it because the text can't be given to the ML model for even for testing, right? So the text is converted into the vectors. You're predicting from it. You predicted it and you got this. The company refuses to provide me verification, and this seems to be predicted by our model as credit reporting. Now, friends, whether this complaint is really of credit reporting or not, that only a banker can say or the customer can say who has put this complaint. That you and I cannot say from this words. No. See, debt means loan. Loan can come anywhere. It can come in credit, it can come in debt, it can come in mortgage. So what the wordings the system has learned, specifically this FDCPA is like an RBI, कहता है ना अमिताभ बच्चन जी केबीसी में कि आप जानकार बनिए. There's complaint to RBI, so there is something similar called FDCPA in the US. Okay, and that's what the output is. I have also mentioned over here that to increase accuracy, we can do the following thing, which is an additional thing, additional optional thing, which you could do. Reiterate the process with different algorithms like random forest, SVM. Okay, and if anybody is wishing to test, accuracy, you can try, like I have tried over here. Of course, I will not share my code with this. This is an additional thing which all of you wish they can do it. And for me, the Gaussian NB collapsed because I got a memory error in my system. Okay, I need a little higher RAM in my system for doing this, and random forest classifier took more than 50 minutes. So, okay, XGBoost will work fast, and a gradient boosting classifier will also work fast. And I think I don't have my data here, but the XGBoost and gradient boosting classifier gave me good efficiency. They gave me about 85%. But then, okay, all were around 85, 86%. Nothing went 90% above. Okay, right. And if you do grid search CV, Vaishali, coming to your question, this notebook is completed. No, a second. Friends, I wish to know from you, what did your complaint say? This complaint refuses to provide you. For this sentence, what did you get? Was it predicted as credit reporting? Please tell me your answers. Is this code there or missing? No code.
Code missing, sir. Code missing.
Dr. Kranti says credit reporting, fantastic. You have been going awesome. So can you do me one small favor, Dr. Kranti? Can you make your own sentence here as this company, blah, 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 and can you make your own sentence here as saying that this housing loan EMI was charged twice? Any other sentence of a choice. This housing loan EMI was charged twice, or this car loan doesn't belongs to me. And just try with that simple sentence. What output do you get? Come on, everyone, please try it. Choose your own sentence related to housing loan, related to credit card, that this credit card charges are mistakenly charged to me. I have not made this expenditure. Something like that. Just make sure the sentence should be correct in English. And don't mix the words credit reporting and loan and mortgage. Don't try to put all those words. Just try to use one keyword, either credit card or loan or housing loan. Be clear, because you just cannot overstress the classification model. It will not work. Whoever has done it will punch two things. He or she will punch the sentence and predicted as what? Okay, Afzal said this housing loan is too high for me. Predicted as consumer loan. Fantastic. Although it should have come as mortgage, but anyway, mortgage is loan against property, so he's classified as consumer loan. Okay, because there is no housing loan category there. I want at least two more responses. Like Afzal did it. This credit card transaction is not mine. It's predicted as mortgage. Oh my god. It should have come in credit card reporting. Actually, should have come credit reporting. This housing loan was changed twice. I didn't made any transaction and it was debited twice. Consumer loan. Okay, yeah, that's right, Dr. Pushpa, because there is no housing loan category there, so it's going to be consumer loan for all of us. The car loan is not mine, is predicted as consumer loan. Fantastic. So our model is working fine to expect it. Okay. Now coming on to the last point, I'll end my session in next 2 minutes, friends, is the fact that what Vaishali said, if you do a grid search CV, it's going to take time, obviously, because you are having 66,000 records, 5,000 features. So you're dealing with 3 lakh plus vectors. 3 lakh vectors on a machine which is having 8 GB RAM should take you nothing less than 45 minutes to 1 hour. So you need to have minimum 16 GB RAM. So if any one of you is having i5 16 GB RAM, you will see Zoop performance. Zoop means in 10 minutes you'll get an answer. But if you're using an i3 with 8 GB RAM, you will get responses in 45 minutes to 1 hour. So, and in fact for FDP3, I'm sure Athosaurus is not going to make us execute live case studies. But if you want to execute live case studies, then laptops will collapse. They will not be able to work. They will not. Okay, right? That's the reason many of us have paid collab accounts. We buy paid collab accounts to actually run our work online on collab. Because if you look at collab, here there is a runtime environment where you can change runtime type. See, hardware accelerator none. You have option of GPU and TPU. Tensor processing unit if you're using Keras and tensors, the way we use in deep learning, and graphical processing unit if you're doing a lot of computer vision, image processing applications. It works super fast if you're using GPU. Even in this application, if I use GPU or TPU, I'll get little faster results. Okay, but for that you need to have you can use TPU and GPU here, but doesn't really make much of a difference. But if a paid account on Collab, then it really makes a difference because it pumps you more power of GPU. Okay, right? In this also you can try, huh? But the problem with Collab was uploading of your data. But yes, near future you can try that. Change runtime to GPU and save it. So it will save. Omit code cell output when saving this notebook. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. And it says to get the most out of a collab, avoid using a GPU unless you need one. He's very cautious on saying that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because we're using free account, no? So your quota of using GPU will get exhausted. So he says that be careful. That's what he wants to say. Okay. Right. So I believe all the queries are over and yes. So
Sir, code for other models. You told that you have to check for random forest
I
as
mentioned
well as.
Dr. Pushpa. I will not be giving it to you. If you wish, you can try it.
Okay, right.
Yep. Doesn't make sense. I give it and you just copy paste it and it doesn't make sense. And they will take more than 40 minutes each to run.
Yeah, okay, right.
So you won't be able to see it any which ways. Right. Okay. So the reason I told you about the confidence interval, CI, is because I tried the various techniques on it and I got the confidence interval of as low as 82%, point something, of course, up till 88% approximate. This is what the confidence interval I got among all the classifiers. That means do what you want to do, you'll not get an about 88% accuracy on this data set. Okay, right. So session from my side is over. I hope you found it fruitful because this is only one NLP case study in the entire session which I could interact with. Could you please tell me yes, found fruitful or good, whatever one word adjective you like to use? Okay, so I'm happy that you found it good. Fantastic. So I give the session off to the organizing committee member, either Renuka or Rathore sir. Yeah, over to you, sir.
So can I ask? Actually,
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
So I think what Vaishali ma'am was asking is related to the milestone case study. I mean, a lot of us are, I think even one more person has said that this is a problem. Even I am facing a problem.
Okay, was it related to that? I don't know.
Vaishali ma'am,
How will I come to
confirm
know
it.
that? Dr. Kranti,
Can
how will I
Vaishali
come to
ma'am
know that?
confirm, is it related to case study or is related to this? Yeah, she's saying yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Vaishali says yes. Okay, so what is Vaishali saying yes for? That means the problem is related to the case study, which is the assignment which has been given. Yeah, that it may take half an hour, 1 hour. That is a possibility. But in that case, your data set is very small, so you should go to Colab and change your runtime to GPU. Okay, Vaishali, did you try the runtime of GPU? First, tell me that. Did you try it? So Vaishali says yes, she tried. On GPU, it took 45 minutes. No, I haven't. Then your net connection is slow, Vaishali. And very honest, jokes apart, I'm dead sure either net connection is slow or the PC is slow. It cannot take so much of time. I mean, are you using an i5 with 8 GB RAM? First, tell me that. Vaishali, what's the configuration of a laptop? i5 with 8 GB RAM. Oh. Then I don't have any answers because it never took me so much time. It usually takes about 20-25 minutes. Yes, 20-25 minutes it will take. But if it takes 45 minutes, accept it the way it is. So can't help it. So how many days is the organizing committee given you to do it, Vaishali? They have given you 1 week, no? So in 1 week you have to spare 40 minutes for running the notebook. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So sir, over to you. Or whoever is concluding. Yeah.
The true method of knowledge is an experiment. So thank you, sir, for very informative and interactive hands-on sessions. So thank you for taking us all on the wonderful journey of the hands-on sessions on various topics, starting from supervised, unsupervised machine learning, then train, test, split, decision tree, random forest, k-means clustering, deploying ML models on Flask, and NLP case study, that is consumer complaint classification for one of the largest private sector bank. So, sir, the way you have conducted the session, starting from the creation and sharing of the collab link, solving the participants' query with the ease, and they all are praising you for the same. During a session, you mentioned that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I feel you contain a library. So, thank you once again for teaching us all the importance of artificial intelligence and machine learning by showcasing it and by doing it during the series of sessions. So thanks a lot. And please accept this virtual memento from us, sir. Now I request Rathod, sir, to say a few words.
There are no words for Rocky, sir.
Oh my God, sir, what is this? Oh my God, sir.
Yeah, all the sessions are excellent, sir.
God.
We got very good feedback.
Participants know very well. So I need not say anything. Everybody is happy. That's it. And because of him only, our practical sessions are fruitful actually.
Right, thank you, sir.
Yes, true, sir.
Yeah.
You make me nervous, sir. You made me nervous when you said no words for me. For 1 minute, 30 seconds, I got nervous. What went wrong?
Wrongly.
Right.
So FDP3 also, sir, is there. 1.5 day session in life cycle of data science.
2.5 days, sir. 2.5 days.
2.5 days.
Right. You only made me, sir.
Like two में से एक घंटा निकाला है ना बाहर.
ठीक है, no, I have accommodated it, so there's going to be very exhaustive work for me for them. I'm preparing a notebook which is going to be very exhaustive, so that will take
Sir,
them actually to the entire life cycle of how they would have worked in an industry.
Yeah, Rocky sir, we can also take the feedback from these participants now.
Yeah, please, sir.
I don't know how many of them will actually continue on FDP3. I hope they should join back, because that is what is the purpose, because they have learned whatever they have learned. Now they will see the real life demonstrations or something like that.
Actually, sir, today's 2-hour session was a glimpse of the FDP3. Correct.
So if they would like to include something over there in our sessions, they can tell, no, particularly to you, because this is supposed to be they want to see in your session or something like that. If anybody wants to say something, can say right now.
Okay.
Can I?
So Vishal
yeah, please. Yeah, इन लोगों को पूछ रहा हूँ मैं, participants. Yeah, please.
Sir, So there is a request because this session went really nice. If it can be extended to using parsers like Stanford parser and all in Python, at least a simple NLP case study.
Yeah, but all the trainers have already been pre-allocated the session time, no? So in 2 hours, how much more should I accommodate? A few
No,
second
no.
malfunction.
Not in this.
I,
Not in this.
no, no, listen. When I'm asking that, the reason for this is, see, there were many participants in FDP1. Some of them did not continue in 2, and they requested actually because of their workload, they will not continue in 2, but they want to join again in 3. Similarly, FDP2 participants, I don't know how many will continue, but there will be definitely many. And there are new also. New entries will also be there independently, correct? So we don't want them to miss anything, and therefore we have included Rocky Sir's 2-day session on life cycle on data cycle. Entire life cycle of data science. So that means from data pre-processing, data cleaning, data analytics to visualization. Sir is about to brief us on all those contents. It's like that. So I don't know. So I got some feedbacks when we are taking feedbacks. So regularly, we got some feedbacks like, for example, visualization. Somebody recommended that at least brief introduction on some other visualization tools because they are not from computer and IT background. They recommended that a brief introduction or some demonstration on other tools like Tableau, etc., would have been helpful for them. In next FDP, can you take the visualizations based on the other tool sets like Tableau?
Sir,
Example, I'm
yeah.
giving you an example. मैं एक example दे रहा हूँ. कुछ लोगों ने
Correct.
ऐसा सजेशन दिया कि फॉर एग्जांपल केस स्टडीज रिलेटेड टू academics will be helpful, like ERP related case studies, or somebody has given an example that why not to include a supply chain related case study that will be helpful, analytics related to supply chain. ऐसा अलग अलग इनपुट मिला है मुझे. दैट्स व्हाई आई थॉट कि अभी पार्टिसिपेंट भी हाजिर है तो वो भी अनम्यूट करके बात कर सकते हैं आपके साथ. तो हम लोग अकोमोडेट किसी तरीके से कर पाए तो कर देंगे कहीं पे FDP3 में. That was my purpose of
Okay.
asking that.
Yeah, sir. See, now there are what I can understand in the conversation. There are two aspects here. The first aspect is when we're looking at Python as a programming language and as coding, it provides some libraries like Matplotlib and Seaborn for the purpose of visualization. So, and if you compare it vis-a-vis, it's like North and